After seeing this movie, I just know mainstream audiences are gonna hate it. What is up, everybody? RandomRandomMan here, bringing you my review for Clouds of Sils Maria, which stars Juliette Binoche, Kristen Stewart, and Chloe Grace Moretz, and is directed by Olivier Assayas. Now, the plot follows Maria Enders, played by Juliette Binoche, a veteran actress who is asked to perform in the revival of a play that made her famous 20 years ago. But instead of playing the younger role that made her a star, she is asked to play the older role opposite of her. And with the help of her assistant, Valentine, played by Kristen Stewart, the two women decide to rehearse lines in order for Enders to prepare for the revival. Unfortunately, once Enders finds out who is playing the younger role that made her a star, the actress Joanne Ellis, played by Chloe Grace Moretz, she finds out that she is a troubled young celebrity and starts to have regrets of doing this play once again. Unless you're as big a fan of art films as I am, you may have never heard of this movie before. But personally, I've been looking forward to seeing this film ever since it initially came out in limited release a month ago, and I've been trying to hunt down this movie ever since. But I have now seen it, and the main reason I wanted to see this movie was for the main three actresses involved, and because of the concept, and it sounded very similar to another movie which I'll mention later on that came out last year. But how did this movie turn out? Let's run down the whole thing. Juliette Binoche is Juliette Binoche in this movie. And what do I mean by that? Well, in that the Oscar-winning actress has time and time again given great performance after great performance in her illustrious career. And that is no different here. I think she delivers such a brilliant performance as this aging actress that's trying to be relevant again, while also giving a weighty emotional grasp to it in that she wants to do what she feels is right while maintaining her vanity and her own personality with it all. And that I admire about the actress really well. Kristen Stewart is also in this movie, and yes, I know, she gets a lot of hate from movie audiences out there, not helped by the fact that she was involved with that one franchise about vampires and werewolves. But in fact, there's this one small reference in the movie about her involvement with that series, and it was just so subtle that I couldn't stop laughing at it. Anyway, this movie has actually won an award because of Stewart's performance. She has won the Best Supporting Actress Caesar, and if you don't know what that is France's equivalent to an Oscar, and she is the first American woman to do so. Now that is a huge honor right there. And is she deserving of that award for this movie? Yes. This is the best performance I've ever seen Kristen Stewart give in her very spotty career. And it's just a wonder to see how much she has grown as an actress from that one franchise up until now. She plays Valentine again, Juliette Binoche's character's assistant, and she does a marvelous job at being able to go off of Binoche's character and hold her own in what can only be called a role that has a lot of weighty tension to it, just like Binoche's character has a lot of weighty emotional depth. So I just think that this is a phenomenal performance from Stewart, and it's just a great step in her career. Finally, we have Chloe Grace Moretz as Joanne Ellis, and her character can be only described as one that is just a train wreck all around. She plays this very, very troubled and very sloppy young actress that is involved in big budget Hollywood blockbusters and is assigned to be playing the role that made Juliette Binoche's character famous back then. And she is not only very convincing as this actress that acts very outlandish and just very bad in the way that anything from TMZ, YouTube, and other scandals can put her as, but she also adds a bit of sophistication to her character as well. I just love her as an actress already, and the way she adds a very big amount of groundedness and very dramatic heft as well makes her very convincing as this character and holds her own against Binoche and Stewart. I think these trio of performances are the best reason anyone should see this movie. From the onset, the plot here doesn't seem that complicated, but once you dig deeper into the lines that this movie carries, it's actually quite complex what this movie has to offer. On the one hand, there's a relationship between Binoche's character and Stewart's character, then with the whole subplot with Moretz's character, and just the whole underlying theme of going to the Swiss Alps in order for Binoche to rehearse the revival of the play that did make her famous. And one thing that this movie has very much riding on it and very effectively pulled off in execution is the writing. Whoever wrote this movie did a mesmerizingly fantastic job in showing how convincing conversations can be and how the actions of characters really make it seem realistic. Just the chemistry between Binoche and Stewart is so gratifying to see on screen that once there do come the scenes where Stewart and Binoche are rehearsing lines, you can't tell whether or not they're having a real argument or if they are rehearsing lines for the play. That is just very effective amount of dialogue that should be seen in any movie like this. This is very, very good writing here. Phenomenal writing. And even in the facial expressions that Binoche and Stewart have, you know there's unsung tension between the two, as it seems like they have known each other for a while, and Stewart's character is the personal assistant to Binoche. And I just think that also helps with the performances that are given here. I cannot get enough of how much the performances are so riveting here. All of this does lead into the actual play that Binoche and Moretz's characters aren't involved in, that being the one called Maloja Snake, which is about a young woman, Sigrid, who seduces an older woman, Helena, yet drives her to suicide. Now, of course, Sigrid was played by Binoche's character in the past, but now it's going to be played by Moretz's character, Joanne, and Binoche's character is going to be asked to play Helena. And once Binoche's character does not like how Moretz is seen in the public and how she's going to be playing the role that did make her a star. She has all these regrets. She wants to pull out. Blech. It's a mess for her. But that's one reason why this is so engaging. You see the battle between how Binoche's character Maria is going at it with her own psyche, her own vanity for wanting to remain Sigrid even though another actress is going to play her. And all of this does remind me of another movie that came out last year and just so happened to be one of my favorites of 2014, and that is Birdman. And Cloud to Sils Maria can be seen as almost an opposite, sort of weird, twisted, de facto version of this movie, in that there are a lot of similarities that can be pulled from both of them, from the fact that an older actor is trying to be relevant in a modern world, such as Michael Keaton's Regan Thompson, and all of these metaphors involved here wanting to stay relevant and trying to adapt to modern ways, even though reality has a tendency to be wanting to bite you in the ass. And do I think that Cloud to Sils Maria has the same wit, the same charm, and the same sort of elegance that Birdman does have? In many respects, I do think so. And it's all because of the performances once again, and just how distinct this movie does look. This movie does take place in the Swiss Alps once again, and it is indicative of the title. It's called Cloud to Sils Maria because one big aspect of this movie does have to do with the Maloja Snake, which is the name of the play once again, but it's actually a real phenomenon that involves a thick white cloud bank that winds through the Swiss Alps, and it is beautiful to see. This movie has gorgeous cinematography beyond belief, just like Birdman once again. Even though this is supposed to be done in one take, Cloud to Sils Maria still does have a lot of art next to it. One problem I do have with this movie does have to do with the departure of one character, and without spoiling the movie, I'll just say that this person leaves just about a little before the last 20 minutes of the movie, and I would have liked to seen this character react to how the play actually goes, even though you never actually see the play until the very end and you only see glimpses of it anyway. But I felt there was a looming absence to be done with that character, and I would have liked to seen how that would be integrated into the rest of the story and what would have happened had it ended differently. And I'm not saying the ending was bad at all, but it would have left me wanting to give a more direct reaction, if you would. But the movie did leave me thinking a lot about what had just happened for the last 2 hours. And you do feel the length at times, but I do think it runs pretty well. And it's a very thought-provoking type of movie once everything is said and done. My final thoughts on this movie are that the triumphant trio of actresses deliver some of my favorite performances I've seen in 2015 thus far, and are my favorite cast of the year too. The impeccable writing between the dialogue and how the movie progresses is just a very praiseworthy compliment to how this movie goes along, and the gorgeous cinematography and how the movie sachets between camera movements and the actual clouds in Sils Maria just look awe-inspiring in my opinion. If you're a mainstream audience member, once again, I don't think you'll appreciate this movie in the same light as I do and some other people out there, but if you can be able to sit through scenes of fair amount of talking and just smart context in how Hollywood and other forms of acting and art are being told today, then this is an experience worth going for. I absolutely love this movie, and it is one of my favorites of 2015. My final verdict for Clouds of Sils Maria is 4.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you all, as always, for watching. Be sure to like this video, comment on what you thought of Clouds of Sils Maria, subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you on the next movie review.